All right, so the next thing I want to talk about actually is GameStop. Are you a fan?
Am I a fan? No, no. I
Really?
have no attachment to GameStop. That doesn't mean I haven't bought at GameStop or
Mm.
haven't gone into GameStop. I have no attachment to GameStop.
You know, I've been going to GameStop for years. I don't really go that much these days, but I could really appreciate the company or where their beginnings at least. I don't really like what they've formed up to now with their business practices,
Mm-hmm.
but there's been a lot of talk about GameStop possibly closing or shutting down and all that stuff, and a lot of people think that
Good,
possibly good. Okay, you're
good.
one of them. Okay, that's that
Oh,
upsets me. No, I'm
you
just
one
kidding.
of those people. Yeah.
But I don't think it would be good for them to shut down because it's just there's no other store besides, I guess you could say, mom and pop stores and everything like that. And there's other businesses, small businesses that have their own video game stores, but
Mhm.
GameStop is the front runner of that. That's games. Everybody knows games. They know what they're going to get there. So if that shuts down, it's kind of like Toys R Us shutting down for toys and everything. Where am I going to get my toys from? Now, of course, you can find places to get toys, but Toys R
That's
Us is the front
correct.
runner.
That's
So
correct.
it's I think it's going to be kind of weird if GameStop shuts down. I don't think they are. A lot of people think they are.
I
I think
don't.
they're smart enough that they're smart enough with their business to know they need to change stuff to keep going.
Hmm.
I don't think they're that far in the hole. I could be totally wrong about that,
Yeah.
but
We don't know what their books look like. Yeah. I don't think anything's gonna be weird about GameStop shutting down if it does shut down.
right.
And here's, I think Toys R Us is a great analogy. People only cared about Toys R Us the second they heard it was shutting down.
Hmm.
Then when it shut down, no one cared. Everyone went about their business and started living their life.
True.
That's what's going to happen. Like, I tell people this all the time. You put something on, I don't even get like the whole notion of pre orders, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, you're getting the game at midnight, okay?
Right.
But now that games are like digital and everything,
Hmm.
you can buy them how do you call it?
Pre
Um,
did
Pre-order it. You can
pre-order.
buy
Yeah,
them
pre-order.
pre-ordered, and they're like, I can only speak for like World of Warcraft on this one because I know World of Warcraft and Diablo did it. You were able to get a pre-order,
Yeah.
and it was loaded and installed onto your computer at 99%. And so at midnight, East Coast wise,
Hmm.
it would then go to 100 and you're in the game. But everyone in your state, like if you live out West
Yeah.
Coast, they got to wait till midnight. Then they got to sit in line or stand in line with a bunch of people. Then they got to buy the game. Then they got to drive home. And then they got to go through the installation process. Well, people are already in the game.
That's too much control. I mean, 99% and it just stops. That would make me mad, dude. Like, no, I don't like that. That's why the physical games, man. That's just for me. Yeah,
But you realize like you can literally be at work
right,
and come home and it's all installed.
true. And
And
all we're
so
ready to go patch wise and all that
that
stuff.
that's why with GameStop when people are like, "Oh, Mortal Kombat 11's coming out, we're all gonna be there," I'm like, "Well, you can just walk into Walmart that morning or that afternoon and just buy it and go home and play it."
Yeah.
Oh, Call of Duty. Oh, I'm gonna dress up like in my BDUs and go there. You see those dudes? You see those dudes at GameStop? You see those
Yes.
dudes at
Yeah.
GameStop? And it's like, I love your passion. This is the one time you came out of your house. I'm happy for you. You know what I mean? And I don't care if people are like, "Yo, he's talking mad crap." Tell me, we all see it. We see pictures. We know people
Hmm.
like this. And if you're a GameStop employee, you know these people.
Right.
So I never got the whole notion of if to me
Right.
personally, if you want like a game store experience, you go to a mom and pop's place. You go to a retro gaming store. GameStop is a corporation. They don't care about that, man.
Yeah. They only care about the money. But
Yeah.
for modern games, it's a good place to go. A lot of mom and pop like shops won't have modern games because they probably can't afford the full because you have to buy it in bulk. Of course, they probably can't
Right.
afford the full
They have to
bulk
get it on
order.
trade-in
Then
or
they have to sell.
something.
Yeah. Then they have to sell all that to make their money back. I mean, they're not making really that much money off of new games at all. I mean, I think most new games companies may make like $5-10 profit off of it,
Yeah.
possibly. I mean,
Mm.
I could be totally wrong about that, but another thing is I wanted to talk about why GameStop might be in trouble and what's hurt them a lot.
Right.
And I was reading an article from the Business Insider, and it talked about streaming games might be hurting sales for physical games at a GameStop.
Hmm.
And what that means is pretty much is that. people might, instead of like going out and buying the games and everything, people will watch other people play those games, and then they won't purchase them, and that's how it goes. So I think definitely streaming has hurt the video game market because me personally, well, I won a game, but I'm like, man, should I pay this money for it?
Mm.
And then I could just get the same enjoyment from watching somebody else play it. Like, how do you feel about that?
I really like watching other people play games.
Do you?
I do. I do, and it's probably because I don't have the time and energy to put into, excuse me,
Mhm.
those said games.
Right.
Like I don't have the time. Um, recently I was watching. What game was I watching? Uh, it was like a let's play of Yakuza,
Hmm.
Yakuza 0, and I enjoyed watching it, but it was broken down on someone's YouTube page into like a 20-part series,
Yeah.
each episode 20 minutes. So that's something I can watch, almost like a Netflix show or something like that, and walk away.
Hmm.
But for me to like sit there and do the whole thing, I can't do that anymore. We're adults now.
Yeah.
You have work, you come home, you
Stuff
got the
going on.
gym, you got to cook,
Yeah.
you know. But there are some times where a game is so good, yeah, I want to play it.
Yeah.
I want to play it. Yeah.
For me, you've heard of Telltale's The Walking Dead, right?
Right.
Um, they were games that were released episodically, digital at
Mhm.
first, and it was a good practice at first. I thought because you were excited for the next episode and everything like that. But after a while, that practice got kind of like tiresome
Mhm.
because what happens is while you're waiting for the next episode, sometimes it gets delayed, and then there's other games you could be playing instead of waiting on that, so you lose interest in a way. And it's kind of funny, and I think like Telltale, they were kind of like doing like on that practice, they were doing that all the time, and people got tired of it. So you know, that's one reason I think like people like just kind of like just maybe stop buying those games instead of buying them and started watching them instead. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you know what the whole thing with Telltale, right? What
Yeah.
happened to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like not. Yeah, they kind of messed themselves up in a way, But
These take too long. You can't be promising things to not deliver.
yeah, exactly. But that just takes me back to the whole GameStop and everything. Like, instead of like I would see The Walking Dead there, and I said, well, why would I pick this up? I could just watch it and enjoy it like that. So good old GameStop, man. I mean, I honestly think streaming has hurt their practices, but it hasn't shut them down. So
No, I don't know how they keep. Honestly, I don't know how to keep surviving. I think there's a point for like 2 or 3 years they were voted like the worst company in the United States.
really,
Yeah, yeah. You hear all these horror stories from employees at GameStop and stuff. Like I love to watch them and
those
listen to
videos
them.
are hilarious.
Yeah,
Man. Yeah.
that what people go through, and then there's the pressure of selling. Sell, sell,
Dude,
sell,
they
sell, sell,
sweat their
sell.
employees so hard. Man.
Yeah.
Here's a quick little story I found out from a GameStop employee. Um, the manager there, she has to, make the orders in there, like get the pre-orders and everything.
Yeah,
and
they
get
walk
people
in and they're like, "Hey, oh, you're purchasing
this
this?"
protection
Yeah.
and power ups. They had to do all that, right? So
Yeah.
one of her employees, he wasn't making the numbers, and he's a good employee. So he was actually like spending his own money and buying up rewards and everything, so he'd get his numbers up and everything. And they found
Just
out
go
about
get a
it.
new job.
Yeah,
Go
he should
get a
have did
new
all
job
that,
at
but
that
they
point,
confronted him, and then they ended up firing him and everything for it. And he says, "I just wanted to keep my job because I just wanted to get the numbers right and everything." But they should look at that, like they're sweating their employees, like they're doing that type of stuff just to keep their jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
because if you don't make the numbers, then your hours get cut, and then they start shortening your hours and everything. Like, why am I not getting these amount of hours this week?
I personally think my opinion, grown man having his own opinion. You could disagree with you like, because I'm a grown
I
man.
disagree already. Yeah.
I think I'd be more inclined to support and love GameStop if their customer service was better.
Yeah.
And if their product is better. That's with anything.
Mhm.
Toys R Us. I don't think anyone hated Toys R Us, but the reason people weren't buying at Toys R Us is because their toys
Expensive
are expensive.
as
And when your
hell.
toys are too expensive and people don't want to pay for that, then that goes into your practices. Like, what are you doing? And if you're trying to make a profit, and this is the other thing with corporations, like GameStop. GameStops are everywhere, man.
Mhm.
They're like the Starbucks of video games. Okay? But a mom and pop shop, they're gonna have that business because there's one store, maybe two stores.
Right.
If you have 4 stores, you're doing really good.
Yeah.
So That's how I look at it. If we didn't have to hear these horror stories, and honestly, when you hear some of them, they may be exaggerated, but they're consistent. If you've ever listened to them like on YouTube,
Mhm.
like people in different states, it's the consistent thing. It's the pressure of that's put on them to sell some game that no one wants,
Yeah,
and you have to sell your pre-orders, and if not, you're gone. And or they start cutting your hours like crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, man, that's crazy. They definitely though have to treat their employees better, or just get. I mean, it's mind boggling honestly because heard so many stories about it. But they need people who care as well. That want to actually be working games because a lot of people like working around video games. They like spreading the knowledge of what people might want to buy, but if they're not getting treated right, it drains them, and then their attitude is just different. I've seen it a lot,
hmm.
and it's pretty
And
insane.
imagine like those late night releases, Reggie.
Hmm.
Like when an employee has to stay there and help 40 dudes waiting to get Call of Duty
Hmm.
dressed up in BDUs, or the guy that dresses up like Metal Gear
Yeah.
to go get portable ops.
What's funny about that? You bring that up. Like
The 100 guys that go for the next Madden, which is just like the last 10.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's funny.
I'm done beating up on him.
It's funny because sometimes being dressed up in like the characters it kind of like it pumps you up to play the game more. Like it kind of keeps you like going and everything. Like
have you dressed up as a character and
I
played
have
a game?
not, but I came close. L.A. Noir. I had my dad's old fedora hat, and I put that on every time I played the game. And
man, that's putting on a hat. That ain't dressing up.
I know, but it's still,
like if I saw you,
I'm trying to be in character though, so kind of like like
if I saw you,
guys probably are.
If I saw you like in a pinstripe suit, all like Harlem Night style and everything like that, I'd be like, Reggie really likes this game.
That'd be like Saints Row style and everything. That's hilarious, man. But
no,
man, I won't dress up like that. As far as I go, I'll put on a hat and maybe start talking like the character or something like that. But that was just
that's funny.